Hey guys, welcome to my week 31 pregnancy vlog. So 31 weeks, kind of a lot going on. I feel like I'm just ready to be done. I think I've said that a couple times now, but I'm just feeling ready. The baby's moving around like crazy. He's got really big movements. It almost seems like he's trying to like bust out of my stomach. At work, I will sit in meetings and people will notice that he's moving. So it's just kind of funny, like how much he's really starting to move now. Another thing is I look really big in my belly. So people keep asking me when I'm due. And I think I've said this before where people are like, are you sure you're due in August? So like today I got at least 3 comments about my due date and that, oh, you'll probably go earlier, you'll probably, go at 5 weeks left instead of 8 weeks. And I guess they're just basing that off the size of my belly. So it makes me excited, but at the same time, I know I shouldn't get my hopes up because I know a couple other girls that gained like 60 pounds, they had huge bellies and they still went all the way to their due date or over. So I'm not gonna get my hopes up. As far as cravings, I haven't talked about cravings in a while, but I feel like I've gotten some cravings this week. I've really been craving fruit, especially pineapple and watermelon. They're so yummy to me right now. And then, sorry, my dogs. I haven't been having that much ice cream, so I picked up some Ben & Jerry's yesterday, and that was probably a bad idea because I got the mint chocolate Oreo, and it's so good. Like I ate it last night, and then I had dreamt about it last night afterwards, and then I was thinking about it all day at work. So that's probably bad because I'm gonna start craving that and wanting it all the time, but it was so good. If you haven't tried that flavor, you should try it. Next thing is, I've gotten, I guess I don't know if it's heartburn or acid reflux or whatever, but I've noticed where it's almost like something is stuck in my throat and it's hard to swallow, and I'll have like little burps and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to take, I haven't had it for a few days, but I mentioned it to one of my friends and she said, oh, you need to take Tums. So I got some Tums. So once I start getting that symptom again, I'll start taking Tums and hopefully that'll make it better. But it's really weird. I haven't had anything like that before. And then I've also been getting cramps, almost like, I wanna say period cramps, that aren't painful or anything, just a little bit uncomfortable. And then my feet got huge this weekend, like so swollen. They didn't even look like my own feet. If you follow me on Snapchat, that's where I'll usually post things like that. But they were just so big. So I wore my Sanuk yoga mat slingback sandals, and those are so great and comfortable for swollen pregnant feet. I tried putting my feet up at work. It's just awkward and hard. Like if I put a chair to the side of my desk, then I'm like awkward, and then underneath my desk, like I can't get them that high up. They're just kind of like straight out in front of me or a little bit lower. So still trying to figure that out. But this weekend I propped them up on a chair with a pillow on top, so they're a little bit higher than my hip level. And I sat like that all day when I was just like on my laptop and stuff, and my swelling went completely down. I'm back to normal again. So that's great. Another thing is working. So I'm planning on working up until my due date, and it's just getting harder and harder. Just like all these little symptoms are starting to make me like really wonder how far I can make it. So if you have any tips on like lasting through your work, working up until the last day, let me know, because I'm starting to feel like, am I really gonna make it all the way to 40 weeks working and driving to work every day? Like it's just starting to become exhausting, and I still have 8 more weeks. So another thing is exercising. I quit exercising the past 3 weeks, not necessarily by choice. 1 week I was out of town, then the next week was when I had that scare at the hospital, so I didn't work out that week. And then last week I just was so busy at work, so I haven't had a chance to work out. So this week I was gonna get back into it, but I went for like a 2-mile walk yesterday, and I'm just really out of breath, and like I feel heavy and just not in the best shape. And so I feel like working out, it probably would help, but it's just like the last thing that I feel like doing right now. So I'm kind of just gonna, you know, put my feet up and relax, try to walk a little bit, but not really do any crazy working out. And also I don't want any like causes, you know, accidental causes of labor by putting too much stress on my body. I may start working out again after like 36 weeks when I'm trying to induce labor. And then I did some research on my pelvic pain, and I came up with pubic symphysis, and I feel like that's what I have. I don't know, it's just so painful. Like the other night I almost cried before going to bed because I didn't want to fall asleep because I knew how much pain I would be while I sleep. Like every time I wake up, it's just so much pain in my hips and pelvis. It pops, and it's not my hips, it's like my pelvic bone is popping, and it feels like it's just breaking. I feel like, I can't even explain it. It's like if you were riding a huge horse for like 5 days straight, and then you got off and your legs just felt like so stretched out and sore. That's how it feels. Like it's just terrible. And I was reading, you shouldn't Google anything, because I started reading and people are like, oh, I had to have a wheelchair and I had to be on crutches and all this stuff. So of course I'm like freaking out, but I'll just live with it. I see my doctor tomorrow, so I'll talk to him again, but I really don't think there's anything I can do. I think that's just part of pregnancy. Some people may have less stretching than others, and you know, maybe he's a really big baby, and so my body already knows that and is just like stretching as much as it can. And we did take a baby class this week. So we did a baby safety class, and I really enjoyed it. It was like 3 hours long, so it was a really long class. My husband went with me, but we learned all of the things that we need to know, like sleeping and feeding and changing a diaper and bathing. Just like, they went over all the basics, car seats, what to pack in your diaper bag, when to call the pediatrician, just like everything. And it was really great because a lot of this stuff I didn't know. I don't have a lot of experience with babies, so I didn't know these things. So I thought it was really, really helpful. And they also recommended to watch the video, The Happiest Baby on the Block. So I actually already owned this. My cousin gave it to me after she had her baby. So I decided to watch that this weekend, and you learn some really good tips for calming your baby down when they're stressed out and crying. So I'm gonna apply those tips once baby Cal is here and see how he responds to them. But if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out if you're having trouble with your newborn. And then also I started reading Baby Wise. And Baby Wise is a book on, I think it's just on breastfeeding, but I don't know. I'm like 4 chapters into it, and it's just kind of how to develop a schedule. There's so many different ways to feed your baby, you know, demand feeding or like cry feeding or scheduled feeding or like whatever. So this one really focuses on a scheduled feeding schedule, and emphasizes like getting full feeds, no snacking, stuff like that. So I'm just listening to it right now on Audible, and I'm gonna kind of see, kind of compare different strategies. So that's one. And then I'm also gonna read 12 Hours of Sleep by 12 Weeks, I think is the next one. And then I've pinned a ton of things on Pinterest that I'm gonna kind of read up on. And then I'm also taking a breastfeeding class through the hospital. So with all that, I can kind of decide what the best method is for me. And then lastly, as far as products go, I haven't been showing many things lately in my videos because I'm kind of starting to accumulate stuff and I want to show them more in like categorized videos. So I've been getting some stuff for breastfeeding. I've been getting some baby things, some stuff for my hospital bag. So I'll kind of film like a breastfeeding necessities video and like a hospital bag video and like newborn essentials, stuff like that. So that way everything, all the products are in one video instead of me just like showing you at the end of my pregnancy videos, which is kind of what I had been doing. But I do have something that I just got, and this is just an exercise ball. So somebody had told me, I don't know if it was on here or Instagram or somewhere else, but told me to start like rolling my hips around on one of these balls to kind of relieve the pain, and I could definitely see how that would help. Sometimes I'll get in like the cat and cow position and just like circle my hips to kind of like stretch them out and get that pain out. So I'm gonna try it on the ball, and then I know like once you're cleared to go into labor, you can like start bouncing on the ball. So it'll come in handy then too. And then, oh, I also got, and I will do full reviews on these like actual big baby products, like my stroller, which I got. So we also ordered the Halo bassinet, which I'm so excited about. And I will do a full review on that after baby Cal is here, so I can give like an honest review on how I actually like it, because it's a very expensive bassinet. But it's gonna give me peace of mind knowing that he can sleep in our bedroom right next to us without being in the bed. The safety class that I was in did not recommend things like the DockATot, which is all over Instagram right now, and like any of those kinds of co-sleepers. They're just not safe, because if the baby, first of all, they're not going to be on a firm surface. They're going to be on your bed surface and then on the DockATot or whatever surface that is. And then there's also with the padding around it, they could suffocate. So it just kind of freaked me out. So I took that kind of stuff off my registry. They said that the Halo bassinet is really great because it's mesh siding, so it's totally breathable, and you're sleeping right next to the baby, so you can look and see, and you can pull it down and check on them. So I'm super excited about that. And then we also ordered our high chair, so that's exciting. Again, I will do a full review on the high chair, and that will be way later because he probably won't start using that for like 6 months. But we went with the XOX Tot Sprout high chair, and I'll link it below. So those were two registry items that each one of my grandmas purchased for me. So I'm excited about those. Now I'll talk about my belly and my weight gain. So I hit 160 this week, which is like a ton. So I gained 2 more pounds this week, and I've gained a total of 27. I'm sure I'm gonna go over 30, like there's no doubt, but I'm okay with it. I think I will lose it quickly. I think I have a big belly, a little bit of weight gain in other places, but mostly it's in my belly, so I'm not too worried about it. And here's what my belly looks like. So I've got on this really, really cute dress from Pink Blush Maternity, and it's ruched here, so it really just stretches with your belly. And I love how it just kind of shows off how big and round I'm getting. And that's about it for this week. So thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.